Thank you, Johnny. Hi, folks, and welcome.
This is Jeopardy!
Welcome to Jeopardy, everyone.
This is Jeopardy! Here is today's contestant. Player one. And now, here is the host of Jeopardy, Alex Trebek.
Thank you, Johnny Gilbert, and thank you, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome. You look eager to get underway, so let's get right into it. And we have one daily double awaiting you in these categories: mythology and art. I only have eyes for you. The solar system. Sports terms. South Korea. And let's celebrate. All right, let's get back into this. Player one has control of the board. A statue of this Roman sea god is a perfect choice for a fountain. There's one at Peterhof in Russia. It's player one. Use the Wii remote or press the corresponding direction on the plus. Good. Please pick again, player one. A sarcophagus at Hearst Castle depicts this group of 9, including Erato, who inspires love poems. Here's what we were looking for: the Muses. Player one, back to you for our next selection. The patron saint of lovers is honored on this annual holiday. Let's hear it, player one. That is correct. Player one, pick again.
Yeah!
Answer, it's the Daily Double. You are currently in the lead. Sorry, you can only wager up to $1,000. How much are you going to wager, player one? Here is your clue. In July of 2005, scientists announced the discovery of Eris, a dwarf planet larger than Pluto, in this belt. Right. Select again. Net, ace, foot fault. Yes, player one.
Woo!
Yep. You get to pick again, player one. Bunker, wedge, caddy. Okay, player one. You got it. We return to you, player one. Customs on this 121st day of the year include dancing around a pole and giving baskets to friends and family. It's player one.
Yeah.
Right you are. Player one, back to you. Former U.S. Senator Gaylord Nelson founded this annual observance devoted to the environment. Yes, player one. Good for you. You again, player one. Hedera helix is the English variety of this climbing plant. The correct response is ivy. Choose again, player one. Praxiteles sculpted this Greek equivalent of Mercury carrying the infant Dionysus. Okay, player one. No. Here's the correct response. Hermes. Select again. And here's Kelly.
This city statue of Geffen and her oxen is a bit less famous than the Little Mermaid.
We're talking about Copenhagen. We return to you, player one. In December of 2006, NASA announced that water may have flowed on this planet's surface within the past decade. Player one?
Yeah!
Right. You again, player one. Bomb, backfield, blitz. Let's hear it, player one. Good. You get to pick again, player one. With more than 10 million people, it's the largest city in South Korea. Here's the response we were looking for. Seoul. Player one, pick again. The 12th century book, Samguk Sagi, recounts the time when this religion came to Korea from India. It's player one. Correct. Player one, back to you for our next selection. Here's Kelly.
In monozygotic, or this type of twins, the genetic makeup of each twin is exactly the same.
Player one. That's right. Way to go. Player one, back to you. On October 10th, 1846, 17 days after the discovery of this planet, its largest moon, Triton, was discovered. Okay, player one. Good. Player one, you pick again, please. At the 2008 Summer Olympics, South Korea's Cha Dong-min won the heavyweight gold medal in this national sport. Here's what we wanted. Taekwondo. Please pick again, player one. Collecting money for UNICEF on this holiday was begun in 1950 by a Philadelphia Sunday school class. Here's the correct response. Halloween. Choose again, player one. Get psyched at the Louvre by looking at Antonio Canova's sculpture of this Roman god and Psyche. Here's the response we were looking for. Cupid. Player one, back to you for our next selection. In 1980, Hermes, one of these objects, came within 300,000 miles of the Earth. Let's hear it, player one. Sorry, that's wrong. Here's the correct response. An asteroid. Choose again, player one. This medicinal herb of the genus Panax is native to Korea. We're talking about ginseng. Player one, pick again. Here's Kelly, she'll show you.
Googly, gully, and batsman are terms used in this sport.
Yes, player one. Sorry, that's wrong. The correct response is cricket. You again, player one. It's a list of places to be visited on a journey. Here's what we were looking for. An itinerary. Please pick again, player one. Fletch. Quiver. Here's what we wanted. Archery. Player one, you pick again, please. The male of this wild goat of the Alps has backward curving horns that may be as long as it is tall. Here's the correct response. The ibex. You get to pick again, player one. MacArthur thought the battle for this port would end the Korean War. Didn't work out that way. Here's what we wanted. Incheon. Player one, back to you. Roger that, Houston. The rocket engines have reached this point of firing to life. Okay, player one. Nope. Here's the response we were looking for. Ignition. Select again. Meaning a coming, it's the period before Christmas that begins on the Sunday nearest to November 30th. Yes, player one. No. Here's the correct response. Advent. And we'll wrap up the board with this clue. These solar discharges, consisting of light, heat, and cosmic rays, may last up to an hour. The correct response is flares. The Double Jeopardy round will begin right after this. Categories for the Double Jeopardy round are countries by newspaper, U.S. city history, celebs, conductors, you're so subtractive, and the essence of things. Let's get back into this now. You have control of the board. A covering for the blade of a knife. It's player one. You are correct. We return to you, player one. It's 237 minus 113. Player one? Woo! Correct. Player one, you pick again, please. In concert, Stokowski would dramatically toss these aside to show that he could conduct from memory. Let's hear it, player one. Oh, sorry. Here's what we were looking for. Scores. We return to you, player one. This Spider-Man and Cider House Rules star is pals with Leonardo DiCaprio. We're talking about Tobey Maguire. Player one, back to you for our next selection. This Missouri city wasn't named for Scott or Janice, but for the Reverend Harris G., an early settler there. The correct response is Joplin. Choose again, player one. El Sol de Tehuacan, the Acapulco Times. Yes, player one. Yes. Please pick again, player one. The Brunswickan, the Edmonton Examiner. Here's what we were looking for. Canada. You get to pick again, player one. 2 months before the Declaration of Independence, the Rhode Island Independence Act was signed in this city. Here's what we wanted. Providence. Player one, back to you. In 2010, this talk show hostess replaced Paula Abdul as a judge on American Idol. Let's hear it, player one. Oh, sorry. Here's the correct response. Ellen DeGeneres. Select again. Marin Alsop made news in 2005 as the first one of these to lead a major American symphony orchestra. Here's the response we were looking for. A woman. You again, player one. 117 minus 47 minus 10 equals this. Okay, player one. Yes. Player one, pick again. You'll be a contender if you know this term for a boxer who jabs with his right. Here's the correct response. A southpaw. Player one, back to you for our next selection. The deliberate destruction of property or equipment by resistance fighters or enemy agents. Player one. Hey, you're right. You again, player 1. 99 minus 55 minus 33 minus 11 equals this. It's player 1. That's it. Player 1, pick again. Willem Mengelberg and Edward van Bynum have been chief conductors of this city's Concertgebouw. We're talking about Amsterdam. Choose again, player 1. Despite an interruption from Kanye, she won for Best Female Video at the 2009 MTV Video Music Awards. Player 1? Sorry, that's wrong. Here's the response we were looking for. Taylor Swift. We return to you, player 1. It was Arizona's territorial capital from 1867 to 1877, and a university was founded there in 1885. The correct response is Tucson. Player 1, back to you. Answer, the first of the Daily Doubles. You are in the lead right now. Decide on your wager, player 1, and the Daily Double clue. Haaretz, Yidiot Akronot. Right. Select again. The Cape Times, the Volksblad. Here's the correct response. South Africa. Please pick again, player 1. Indianapolis was laid out in a wheel pattern inspired by this other major city some 500 miles away. Here's what we wanted. Washington, D.C. Player 1, you pick again, please. This star of The Princess Diaries and The Devil Wears Prada has the same name as Shakespeare's wife. Here's the correct response. Anne Hathaway. You get to pick again, player 1. An 1831 play by Pushkin recounts an alleged rivalry between Mozart and this composer. Let's hear it, player 1. Sorry. Here's what we were looking for. Antonio Salieri. Choose again, player 1. 1127 minus 121 minus 116 equals this. Okay, player 1. That's correct. You get to pick again, player 1. Old school inhalant to give you a nicotine rush. It's player 1. That is correct. We return to you, player 1. From the Urdu for soldier, it was an Indian native who served in the British Army in the 1800s. We're talking about a sepoy. You again, player 1. Answer, the second Daily Double. You are in first place. So what's your wager? All right, here's your clue. From the Latin for diminish, it's the term for a number from which another number is subtracted. Here's what we were looking for. The minuend. Player 1, back to you. On CDs with Canada's National Arts Centre Orchestra, Pinchas Zuckerman conducts and plays this. Here's the correct response. The violin. Player 1, pick again. She must have been in seventh heaven when her autobiography and I Am Me CDs both reached number 1. Here's what we wanted. Ashley Simpson. Player 1, you pick again, please. It was uninhabited when it was chosen as a territorial capital in 1836 and named for a president who died that year. Yes, player 1. Yes. Here's the $2,000 clue. The Daily Punjab, the Balochistan Post. The correct response is Pakistan. Congratulations to you. You'll be continuing on to Final Jeopardy when we come back. Everything depends on Final Jeopardy, of course, so let's take a look at the category, shall we? 19th century names. So, what's your wager? Each direction on the plus control pad represents a different response. Press a direction to select an answer. All right, players, this is what it comes down to. Here is the Final Jeopardy clue. He got the name by which he's best known because Mexican victims of his attacks would cry out in terror to St. Jerome. What did you say? How much do you add to your total with that correct response? This makes you our new champion, player one. So congratulations. So long, everybody.
This is Jeopardy! Please welcome our contestant. Player one. And now, here is the host of Jeopardy, Alex Trebek.
Thanks, Johnny. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Good luck to you in the Jeopardy round. The categories for the Jeopardy round are odd words on Broadway, 21st century history, the animal kingdom, literary pets, and ice cream. Player one, you start us off. Select a clue by pointing the Wii remote at the screen and pressing the A button. Dumbledore is actually an old word for this insect. J.K. Rowling imagined him humming all the time. Okay, player one. Use the Wii remote or press the corresponding direction on the plus control pad. Hey, you're right. Select again. The name of this light, crinkled fabric comes from the Persian shur or shakar, meaning milk and sugar. Player one? That's correct. Please pick again, player one. The fact that clavate means shaped like this isn't something you have to hit me over the head with. Let's hear it, player one. Good for you. Player one, back to you for our next selection. Too much time enjoying potent potables? You could end up with a Katzenjammer, one of these. Yes, player one. Yes. You again, player one. Robinsonade is not a refreshing drink. It's a novel similar in theme to a work by this author. It's player one. Right. Select again. Two snugly cute characters in Avenue Q aren't called the bad news these, but the bad idea these. Yes, player one. You got it. Player one, back to you. Many of this Jonathan Larson musical's famous fans have gone backstage to add their names to a long graffiti wall. Let's hear it, player one. You are correct. We return to you, player one. Fantasia of American Idol played the role of Celie in The Color This. Okay, player one. Yeah, good. Choose again, player one. Spring Awakening is an alt-rock musical based on an 1891 play that Frank Wedekind originally wrote in this language. It's player one. Yep. Player one, you pick again, please. Huey Lewis, Harry Hamlin, and George Hamilton have all been tapped to play tap-dancing lawyer Billy Flynn in this musical. Player one? That is correct. Player one, back to you for our next selection. In 2001, she became the first First Lady to win elective office, becoming a senator from New York. It's player one. Yes. You get to pick again, player one. This 2005 hurricane was the costliest natural disaster in U.S. history. Let's hear it, player one. Yeah. Good. Player one, pick again. Benedict XVI succeeded this pope as head of the Roman Catholic Church in 2005. Okay, player one. Right. Please pick again, player one. This cabinet-level department established in 2002 includes FEMA, the Coast Guard, and Customs. Player one? Yeah! That's it. Player one, pick again. The Norway type of this infuriating rodent actually originated in Asia. Yes, player one. That is correct. We return to you, player one. The eyes of these croaking critters usually bulge, but they retract and push down on the mouth to help in swallowing. Okay, player one. Good. Player one, back to you. The hermit type of this animal can twist its abdomen to one side so it tucks neatly into its home. Player one? Yeah, correct. Select again. This large prickly rodent gets its name from the French for spined pig. Yes, player one. Right. You again, player one. The title beast of his The Hound of the Baskervilles is actually the pet of Mr. Jack Stapleton. It's player one. Yeah, that's right. Way to go. Please pick again, player 1. Harry Potter uses his snowy owl named this to transfer messages. Let's hear it, player 1. Correct. Choose again, player 1. Marjorie Kinnan Rawlings' The Yearling centers on this type of pet. Okay, player 1. That's correct. You get to pick again, player 1.
Yeah!
It's the Daily Double. And you have the lead. Give us a wager, player 1. Here is your Daily Double clue. Little Swan, Little Bear, and Greenfinch are some of the goats of this Johanna Spiri lass. Yes. Player 1, you pick again, please. In 2004, 7 countries that were once Soviet allies were admitted as new members of this military alliance. It's player 1. Right you are. Player 1, back to you for our next selection. The Hirola is also known as the four-eyed species of this African ungulate. Let's hear it, player 1. Right. We return to you, player 1. A poetic Eliot feline who has lived many lives in succession is named for this 5th book of the Old Testament. Player 1? Yes. Choose again, player 1. Cohen and Greenfield are the last names of the co-founders of this company that created Cherry Garcia ice cream. Yes, player 1. Hey, you're right. You again, player 1. Though it started with just 31 flavors, this chain now has more than 1,000, including SPF 31. Okay, player 1.
Yeah!
Right. You get to pick again, player 1. This treat gets its name because a certain fruit is cut lengthwise and then topped with ice cream, nuts, and whipped cream. Yes, player 1.
Wow!
Right you are. Player 1, pick again. This 3-flavored ice cream is named for an Italian city. Let's hear it, player 1. Here's the correct response. Neapolitan. And now the $1,000 clue. Many claim to have invented these. One man made them from waffles at the 1904 St. Louis World's Fair. It's player 1. You are correct. The Double Jeopardy round will begin right after this. Clues are worth $400 to $2,000 in these categories. The continent, Leonard Maltin's favorite films, Language Lab, what are you made of? Ouch! And you're going to win a Pulitzer. All right, if you're ready, it's Double Jeopardy time. where the Latter-day Saints believe that Zion or New Jerusalem will be built. Player 1? That is correct. Player 1, back to you. That can be typed using a single row of letters on a standard keyboard. Okay, Player 1. That is correct. Please pick again, Player 1. That extends down to about 54 degrees south latitude. Yes, Player 1. Yep. Player 1, back to you for our next selection. With the most countries. It's Player 1. Good. Select again. This World War II classic set in war-torn Morocco is his candidate for the best Hollywood movie of all time. Let's hear it, Player 1. Yes. Player 1, you pick again, please. This Scorsese film is about a boxer whose leading opponent outside the ring was always himself. Player 1? Good for you. Choose again, Player 1. And I'll hand it off to Kelly.
Shots of Jupiter and its moons figure prominently in this director's 2001 A Space Odyssey, which Maltin called a unique masterpiece.
Yes, Player 1. That's it. Player 1, back to you. Answer. The first of the 2 daily doubles. You are in first place. What are you going to wager? Okay, here is the clue. David Lean's 1946 British film of this Dickens tale is a real pip, and the opening graveyard sequence is a gem. That's right. Way to go. Player 1, back to you for our next selection. Most languages of Western Europe get their words for read and write from this language's leggere and scribere. It's Player 1. That's correct. Please pick again, Player 1. Hochdeutsch is the modern standard form of this language. Okay, Player 1. You got it. Player 1, pick again. The pinyin system for writing this language in the English alphabet was officially adopted January 1st, 1979. Player 1? Good. Select again. Queen Elizabeth II at Madame Tussauds. Let's hear it, Player 1. No, that's not right. We're talking about wax. You again, player one. Moses by Michelangelo at San Pietro in Vincoli, Rome. It's player one. Correct. We return to you, player one. Tecumseh on Cheers. Yes, player one.
Woo!
That's correct. Player one, you pick again, please. The rheumatoid type of this is 3 times as common in women as in men. Let's hear it, player one. Good. You get to pick again, player one. When these are less than 5 minutes apart and last about a minute, you're in labor, and the fun is just beginning. Okay, player one.
Yeah.
Yes. Player one, back to you. Kelly will present this clue.
Look out! A symbol depicting waves, a skull and crossbones, and a person fleeing warn that a device is a source of this.
Player one.
Yeah.
Correct. Player one, back to you for our next selection. Julia Keller won in 2005 for her reporting on a 10-second event, the destruction of Utica, Illinois, by one of these. Here's the response we were looking for. A tornado. Player one, you pick again, please. In 2007, counterintelligence columnist Jonathan Gold became the first critic of these to win a Pulitzer. Okay, player one. Right. Select again. This city's Herald won in 1993 for public service for coverage of Hurricane Andrew and its aftermath. Let's hear it, player one. Yes.
Yeah.
You again, player one. In French, Hier Henri m'aimait, yesterday Henry loved me, is an example of this flawed past tense. Player one? Good for you. Please pick again, player one, with the first country alphabetically. Yes, player one. Yeah, good. Choose again, player one. Debbie Reynolds was a teenager when she tapped up a storm in this 1952 film, perhaps the best movie musical ever made. It's player one. You are correct. Player 1, pick again. All right, here with the clue is Kelly.
The warriors of China's first Qin emperor are made of this. It's Italian for baked earth.
Player 1. Yep. You get to pick again, Player 1. Per the Major League Baseball injury report, Randy Johnson missed his last regular season start of 2006 due to back these. It's Player 1. That is correct. We return to you, Player 1. Answer. The other daily double. You are in the lead right now. Please select your wager. Answer this. The first 2 Pulitzers for writing these, to the New York Tribune and Louisville Courier-Journal, didn't name the authors. Right. Select again. Douglas Hyde, also known as Ancrethan Ethan, fought to preserve this language and founded a league of the same name. Yes, Player 1. You got it. Please pick again, Player 1. St. John the Baptist by Donatello at Siena Cathedral. Let's hear it, Player 1. Right. You get to pick again, Player 1. An amputee may suffer real pain from this ghostly type of limb. Okay, Player 1. That's it. And the $2,000 clue? Russell Jones won for his reporting about Soviet repression from this capital in 1956. It's Player 1. That is correct. Looks like you'll be moving on to Final Jeopardy after this commercial break. We're back. The category for Final Jeopardy today is Sports Business. Please enter your wager. Press the corresponding direction on the plus control pad to select your response. And now the final clue. In 1993, this man said, "What Phil and Nike have done is turn me into a dream." What did you put as your response? And that correct response will add... Congratulations to you, Player 1. Good game. Thank you so much for playing.